GoToWhitney.com.
All right, so we are here with the one and only Russian Roulette. I'm so excited because I met you in New York City, and now we are doing, isn't that cool? We met by chance. Why don't you tell everybody about your album, and then we'll kind of get into the nitty gritty about who you are, where you come from, and just about you in general. But tell us about your album.
Okay. So the album is not released yet. We had dropped 2 singles, one Discarded, that was my debut single, and then we just dropped this record I did with Madchild that I recorded back in June of 2016 or July. It was funny. I really liked this girl and she was a big fan of Madchild, so I hit up Madchild on Twitter. I was like, hey, are you doing features? And we finally linked and did the song. Song's great. I love the song. I never, like, me and the girl turned out to be like best friends and like never dated or anything, but like the reason why I did the song with Madchild, I'm a fan of Madchild too. I love his music, but I was really trying to impress this girl. But it turned out to be dope. You know, my producer made such a cool beat. We're gonna drop one last single. Okay. It's called Stay Down. It features Madchild, and then we're gonna release the album. And the album is kind of my debut album. It's called Russian Roulette. And it's got acoustic beats, it has rock beats, it's got trap beats, so, you know, there's just a lot of diversity in this album. So it's like, if you're feeling sad, you can put on Discarded, but if you're feeling happy, you can put on Stay Down or Badass that I did with Diabolic.
So when you're talking about how you just hit up Madchild, I mean, listen, there's a million people who have talent, who can sing, who can do things. Why are you different? Why were they like, yeah, you know what? You know, we're gonna hook you up, or we'll sing a feature on your song. How did that just happen?
Well, the thing is, I approached it with my story. So like, I got sober, you know, back in January of 2016. You know, I've been homeless, addicted to drugs, and we kind of sold them. We didn't sell the people on the story, the artists on the story, but we said, look, this kid's turning his life around. He's doing something positive. Do you want to be part of this? Do you want to be part of this journey? Help him out. And, you know, everybody who I did work with was really cool. They had the vibe. They were like, I want to do this. I want to help you out. And that's what it's kind of about. It's like helping people out. Now, you know, I can go to people since I have a little bit of movement right now. You know, I want to help other smaller artists out. And, you know, I'm not huge on doing features myself. Okay. People have asked me, but it's just now is not the right time. Okay. For me, but it was really cool. I just hit him up and I was like, look, this is who I am. No bullshit, no nothing. Do you want to work with me? I want to make a positive track. I want to do something positive for the people. Are you down for the ride? And everybody was. You know, I got Lazy Bone on this album. So cool. Bone Thugs and thing. Yep. And a little about him. I believe his mom was addicted, and she sobered up, and that's why I reached out to Lazy Bone, because he understood it. Yeah. You know, he understands. He grew up in a home with it. You know, his environment was, you know, there was a lot of crime, addiction in his environment back in Cleveland, and I wanted him to pull something positive out of his story and share it with the people. And the track is called "Fight This Addiction," and it's like a treatment center promo track, you know. Okay. No, but that's cool because there are a lot of people that have had addiction and are still, you know, dealing with it, and then there's people who did get over it, such as yourself. So at least you're making a positive thing out of it. You're a positive influence for a lot of people, and then it's neat because you related to him, and now you have this song, which is great. So why don't you touch on some of that? Because I guess you said you were adopted, right? So you want to tell us that story? I was adopted in Oriol, Russia, when I was about 1.5 years by a nice Jewish family from Minnesota. No way. Yeah. And you know, a lot of my music is about, you know, kind of feeling alone, you know, especially being adopted, you know, being with my birth parents. They're obviously not all tatted up, you know, and it's, you know, when I was younger and I would walk, or like my dad would pick me up from school, I'd always feel different, you know, because I would go over to my friend's house and their parents would be so connected with them and they would look like them, and it confused me. And, you know, back then, obviously, I didn't really know. I knew I was adopted, but I really didn't get it. Yeah. But I always felt there was something different about me. But I learned to embrace me being different, and now, you know, I hope other people take from my music or from my fashion or from my style and feel that it's acceptable to branch out and be yourself.
Right. You don't have to conform. You know, at least you had the opportunity to have a good life. So that's good. And then, you know.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Yeah, of course. So it looks like, I mean, how I noticed you were all your tattoos. Why don't you talk to us about your tattoos? When did you get those? Because you're still kind of young. So when did you get those, and what's the inspiration behind them?
All right, so I think 15 I got my first face tattoo. I think I was about to turn 16 when I got this music note on my face. I had been writing for about 3 or 4 months, and I just knew that I knew that music was my calling, you know, so I tatted it on my face. I wanted everybody to know that I'm a musician. Now, obviously, it kind of looks like a teardrop before, so I got into a little bit of trouble, you know, riding on the public bus. People would come up to me, they'd be like, "What's good?" I was like, "Look, bro, I'm just a musician."
Okay.
But, that's, you know, a lot of my tattoos, here, I'll take this off. A lot of my tattoos, like, you know, I have Led Zeppelin, Marilyn Monroe, Ace Frehley, Chili Peppers, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace. I pull a lot of my tattoos from musicians who inspire me. The Angel, you know, Symphony.
Wow.
A lot of music tattoos. I have Russian roulette tatted across the chest with the roulette board as the O. And then I got the gun on the side of my head.
Yeah.
Russian roulette.
Now,
I just thought, you know what?
Yeah.
I have to put the gun on the side of my head. It was ballsy. It's hard to get hired, but I still have a job. It's all good.
I know.
And then I had the anchor. So when I first came to California to get sober, I had learned to surf, and I became a surf instructor. And surfing was like one of the main reasons I stayed sober. Being out in the morning at 6 a.m. paddling, feeling that spirituality out there. And also the anchor, it's grounded. I'm grounded. And the reasons why I get tattoos on my face is I get the most important ones on my face. Because that's the first thing people see. Yes. You know, I heard they see your shoes first. Usually people look at shoes and you know, but when you see someone's face, you can kind of tell what kind of person they are.
Right. So, I mean, and like you said, you know, the gun might, I mean, besides not getting jobs, do other people say things to you like, dude, why'd you do that? You know. Actually,
I just ran into Fetty at St. Laurent on Rodeo Drive, and I was walking out, and he was talking to his boy RGF Productions about the gun. He was like, "Hey, that's sick," and it's a statement. You know, I want people to remember who I am.
Yeah.
And it's like when you see that gun, when you hear Russian roulette, you're not gonna forget it. Russian roulette just pop. You know.
Yes. And that's
Russian roulette. You see the gun tattoo, that's hard to forget. Someone's got a pistol, a revolver on the side of their head. It's hard to forget.
Yeah, it is hard to forget. And you know what? You pull it off. You know, not anybody can really pull it off, but you pull it off, so that's pretty cool. Now, you did mention your fashion. I mean, I see you're rocking and you're on Rodeo Drive and you're doing your thing, okay? So tell us about your fashion style. Are people following you? Are people saying, hey, man, like, you know, where'd you get that? And try to emulate you?
So a lot of people, it's starting to be more common, but people will come up to me and take pictures with me. Like, I walk to Starbucks every morning, and like, you know, with me, fashion is a statement. Yeah. Just like with my tattoos and with my music. You know, when you see me, people think like, oh, aggressive, like face tattoos, you know. But when you hear my music, you hear a totally different thing. I don't curse in my music. You know, and I try to really put out a positive message, and it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay. You know? Yeah. People see the image, but then they hear the music, and it can change the perception on me.
Right. And you can kind of, you know, show your emotion through the different songs that you write and that you put out there. What about Fetty Wap? Did you tell him you wanted to collaborate with him?
Yeah, my manager's working on it. Okay. I went up to him, I was like, hey, Fetty Wap, what's up? I'm a musician, you know. I dig your stuff. I love his hooks. He's like, cool. I don't care what anybody says. His hooks are fire. Yeah. He did that song with 6ix9ine. I like that, you know. And it's like, you know, people hate it. You know, musicians have the freedom of doing what they want, you know, and that's what he enjoys. He loves writing killer hooks. I'm cool with it. Not everything in this industry has to be, you know, real, like Eminem. For me, at least, I love doing turn-up tracks. That's why I have songs with Madchild, Diabolic. You know, it's fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
To touch more on my fashion, I kind of have like a Johnny Depp crybaby, James Dean kind. I try to dress vintage, but in my own like rock and roll style. I wear rings. I'm not wearing all my rings right now. Just
that's a
cool
cool
the
look.
wallet chain.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a really cool look. It's kind of interesting though, because I feel like you bill yourself a little bit as like a rap or hip hop artist, but you're really into a lot of rock and roll and grunge and stuff too.
The rock and roll.
You know what I mean?
That's a lot of my musicians that I pull inspiration from are rock and roll musicians.
Okay.
And my producers know that I love rock and roll, so they try to integrate a lot of electric guitar solos.
That's cool.
Just a lot of rock and roll as much as I can without trying to steal someone else's style. But this is my first album, like I said, and I've learned so much from it. And starting the second album, it's gonna be different. I really want to integrate all live instruments.
That's cool. That's
into
really
as much as I can. Obviously, if I'm gonna do a turn up track or whatever, maybe some sample drums or whatever, but.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, listen, I can't wait for the second one, and I haven't even seen the first one, so it sounds really cool. I love it. So why don't you talk to us about, if we want to get to know more about you, because like you said, if you just look at your persona, you're like, oh, look at all those tattoos. He looks like unapproachable. He thinks he's so cool and everything. But meanwhile, you're super talented. You have a great backstory. People know about you. What's a day in your life besides the fact that you're going to Starbucks?
Okay, so I usually wake up, hop in the shower, do my hair.
Okay.
I work at a treatment center. I work at a detox.
Oh, nice.
And I'm currently trying to get my KDAC to be a licensed counselor, addiction counselor.
Okay.
No comment about the rehab industry, because I think it's bullshit. But I think there are good people who work in there who genuinely want to help people, and I love working in it. I'm 20 years old. I have almost 2.5 years sober, and I have a relationship with these residents who are younger. A lot of the people who work in the rehab industry are in their late 20s, and it's like, I know for me, when I was going in and out of rehab, I would have connected a lot better with someone who was younger.
Yeah.
Someone who was my age, who like wasn't going to sugarcoat shit and just tell. I'm more of a friend to them rather than a technician or
Right. Well, you can empathize with what they're going through, and then they look to you as a mentor because you understand. It's like, I, fortunately have never experienced that, but it would be tough for me to, mentor someone and help someone through the process, because I don't really know what that's like. But being that you know what it's like, that's great when you can relate to a person. And like you said with the industry, I know people that have, been in the same situation as you also, and it seems to be a common perception that it's not really that great, and the people don't always do it for the best reasons to want to help people. Yeah. So it's nice that you're taking that responsibility. Plus, especially now that you have a platform, you can help others in the same situation too, more than maybe someone else could, which is pretty neat.
Well, of course, and it's cool. And it's like, at work, I really try to keep my music career, not the, I don't try to promote it at work, but obviously people ask, when residents come in, they're like, oh, you're a musician, and I've gotten Instagram messages, emails, people come up to me and like people say like, yo, your music fucking saved my life. Like this one girl, she was like, you're the first person who wrote a song, Discarded, about like adoption. Like, this is the song I've been searching for my whole life.
Aww.
And it's like,
that's all worth it.
I would rather have 100 loyal fans than a million just kind of fans.
Yeah.
I want to be able to connect with my fans because my music is very personal. I get very vulnerable when I write music.
Yeah.
That it's my therapy, and that's what a lot of artists I think are doing right now. They're writing, and it's just it's cool to see my music impacting people because I've always wanted to, and people always told me keep doing it, and like. I'm getting hit up by old teachers now, and they're like, whoa, just saw your music video. It's like, I have like 4 Shazams on Discarded, and obviously it's playing somewhere.
Yeah.
And like, it's the small wins that make the big win,
Yeah.
amazing and cool. Like, running in the Fetty walk and talking about my tattoos, kind of,
Yeah.
we got some really, really big stuff coming up for the second album. My manager partnered up with someone, and
okay,
you know, all goes well, we could have some serious movement with my music.
Oh shoot, that's awesome.
I really, to be honest, I more into the day-to-day life. I really don't hang out with much people. You know, a lot of my friends are older who are sober.
Yeah.
You know, I try to stick with the winners who have, you know, decades of sobriety, because it's like, I don't have another option. If I go out, I'm out. You know, it's like, I'm 18, I'm lucky to be alive. You know, people who knew me back in Minnesota when I was using, they, you know, I don't have another option. So
yeah,
I just try to turn it into something positive, you know, because I'm a negative person, you know?
No! But you are.
I mean, I'm not a negative person, but like, I see a lot of people out here doing this stuff for the wrong reasons, and they're succeeding, and it pisses me off. It's like, what? Like, why are you succeeding? Why? Like,
I know.
It's
very easy to see that. I mean, that's with every industry. And you know, what I always say is, you know, you got to stay in your lane, because if you figure like you're driving, right? If you keep looking to the left and right, you're going to crash your car. So you got to just stay straight and just do your thing and don't look at everyone else, because that literally every industry, I could say that for a lot of people too. Like, I don't understand. Why are they getting this? And it just is what it is. But you're doing so well and so many good things. So
thank you. I just want to set an example.
Yeah.
I want to set an example, and it's like, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you wear.
Right.
Like, your voice is the most powerful thing, and you have the ability and you have the option every day to change the world in your own little way.
Yeah. So who do you want to, so moving forward though, who do you want to collaborate with?
Okay. Lady Gaga.
Nice.
Or Kesha. Or Pink.
Okay.
Johnny Depp. He's got a good voice.
I know. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I guess he does. Yeah.
He loves music, and I think, you know, it would be cool maybe to do an acoustic set with him.
Okay. I can see that. Do you go
Marilyn Manson?
Oh, Marilyn Manson? That'd be pretty cool. That's old school though. I haven't even heard anything from him lately. I wonder if is he producing music?
Yeah, he just came out with an album like a year ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. I'm actually seeing him this summer with Rob Zombie.
Okay.
It's gonna be. I got mosh pit tickets, so.
Yeah, get in there.
You know?
I'm like, you can do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna be in a mosh pit. I'll get trampled on.
It's gonna be gnarly.
Awesome.
But I'm trying to, you know, like I said, this first album, I didn't really know what I was getting into, you know? But now I have experience, and I want to branch out into different genres of music. A lot of acoustic, you know, some rock. You know, I'm going to be singing too, you know, it's like...
So do you play the instruments? Do you play guitar?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, I can play a couple Marilyn Manson songs on guitar. I used to play guitar. I got into music through Guitar Hero. Like, Guitar Hero, when it came out, that's one thing me and my dad could bond and do.
Okay.
You know, so we would play Guitar Hero, and that's where I learned about Kiss, you know, Guns N' Roses, you know, all those bands, and it's like... It's crazy. A lot of those guys are sober and in recovery. You know, like Alice Cooper is one of my favorite musicians. I think he has like 35 years sober. Wow. And he puts on the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because when you know, most times people drink or do drugs just to, you know, cover up the pain or cover up whatever they're feeling. So once you kind of free yourself from that, you can, you know, you could do anything. You know, yourself.
I love expressing myself, because for so long I wasn't. I was trying to be someone else, whether I was in the streets trying to hang with the homies or whatever, or that's mostly what I was doing, just trying to fit in and try to have a name for myself. And it's easy to have a name when you do the wrong thing. It's easy to do the wrong thing.
But when going back to your story though, I mean, what made you want to go out in the streets? You know, what made you want to do that? Like, did your parents, did they want you to go to whatever class after school and you're like, no man, I want to go hang out on the streets? Or
I got put into high school for recording arts in St. Paul, and I was there was like 2 other white kids.
Okay.
And a lot of people were in gangs and everything, and like some of my best friends to this day are still, you know, I met them there.
Yeah.
You know,
awesome.
And some of them don't want to change. You know, it's like my best friend's been in and out of prison a lot of his life. all I can do is set that example and be like, look, there's a better way out there. Because I tried to live that lifestyle for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not glorious. It's not glamorous.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it
was cool. It felt like a brotherhood at first. You know, it's just all the homies hanging out, we smoking, we drinking. But at the end of the day, I wasn't being true to myself. And now I can be true to myself and set that example. And if they want to follow, cool. And if not, I have to respect their journey.
So do you, okay, so going back to you though, well, like, you're doing the singing, but is there any reality shows you'd like to be on?
That's funny you ask. I don't know what's going on with this, but my publicist might have got me on an audition for Love and Hip Hop New York.
Oh my god!
But I think it's passed, so I don't think it happened.
Okay.
But I don't really want to do reality TV, you know, because it's staged, it's drama, and I'm like, I don't like drama. I've been through too much drama in my life. Like, I literally don't fuck with anybody, you know. I fuck with my small circle, and that's it. You know, I hang out alone a lot, but I'm comfortable with myself now to be able to hang out alone.
Yeah, that's great.
I've learned to love myself, even though it sounds cheesy. It's like I've learned to appreciate who I am and accept who I am.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's okay to be different. It's okay to look different, and it's cool. Yeah. You know, and
I mean, but you have a great look. I mean, and if you came to New York, I mean, you did walk the runway, right, for New York Fashion Week. How cool was that?
It was dope. I got to walk the runway with Dr. Oz. He's a great guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I have a video on Instagram, but I was nervous. Like it was for prostate cancer. There was a fundraiser and they had me walk. And I was so serious when I walked, and everybody else, because it's only one model that walks down the runway. There was about 15 of us, and everybody was like dancing down the runway.
Yeah.
And like it's my first runway appearance, so I'm like, yo, I gotta look like I gotta model up, you know. So I was like, clenched my jaw, like.
Oh, okay.
And then the announcer was like, and Russian roulette does not smile, and that I cracked. I was like, whatever, like, you know. But it was an experience. I will continue to attend Fashion Week for the experience and for the networking, and it's cool, you know. A lot of those clothes that they or a lot of the lines that they show during Fashion Week, a lot of people wouldn't wear, but I wore an astronaut suit, you know, and I would love to walk down Venice Beach in that astronaut suit, you know.
That's cool. Can you imagine people will be staring at you like, you are crazy?
But it's expression, you know? And every designer has their own way of expressing themselves through clothing and through the models they choose to have walk for them.
It's true.
And I met you. I didn't meet you I met you at a diner.
I mean, who would have thought? I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, I bet you he's a singer or something. Like, you know, and she's like, really? And then we were trying to sneak a picture. Like, I took my phone. I was like, I don't know who he is.
That happened the other day. I was at Starbucks and this girl comes up and like I'm standing in line and she brings her phone up to my face and she takes a picture and I'm like, whoa, like, you know, you can just ask for a picture. Like, I'm not gonna like eat you. I'm not gonna bite you. Like. But it was cool. She knew who I was. She knew my music. And it was like, that's such a small win, but that goes so far for me to be able to take a picture with someone because of my music.
Right. Yeah. And that's cool. And like you said, too, I think that, I mean, even because, you know, we've been talking a long time and I want people to know a few key things about you. And one of them is the small wins. To you, that's important. And that's a big deal because most people see just the end goal. They just want to skip over everything to get to that goal. But you're like, listen, it's the small wins that get you there because you will eventually be there at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Life is a marathon. Whatever you do in life is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. All these musicians, all these actors, whatever industry you're in, even if you're a mathematician or something, you know, you got to go to college first, or you got to do plays before you do small TV shows or commercials or whatever.
Right.
Now, it does happen to a very small percentage of people where they just blow up. But learn to embrace these small wins where someone wants to take a picture of you. You get 1,000 streams on Spotify. 1,000 people listen to your music. That's a big deal.
That's awesome.
You know? And it's just remaining in gratitude and being grateful for what you do have.
Yeah, and you know also that those people listening are really listeners. They're your fans. Like, your followers are true followers right now. And that's pretty much all you can ask for. I think it's awesome.
Of course. And it's cool having a small fan base right now because I'm able to connect. People are able to message me on Instagram and I don't have 1,000 DMs right now. You know, I have 10 DMs and I can answer all of them.
Yes.
You know, and really connect. And I met up like on like coffee dates with fans or whatever you want to call it, coffee dates, whatever. And I've been able to talk to them, and it's like, you know, one of these people, you know, their daughter died of an overdose, you know, and it was like the mom started crying. And she was like I don't listen to hip hop, but your music, Discarded, like it helped me, and I was like, wow, you know, and it's like, I don't know. I've always dreamed for my music to touch people, and it's like, whether you like my music or not, just see the message in it and see that it's something positive.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and you did make your mark, and I think that's great. Well, I mean, and we can't wait to see the album. I know you said 2 songs came out already. When will the album come out in its entirety, and where will it be?
Well, it's going to be on all major platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google, whatever one else.
Okay.
Now, platforms there are. We're working on getting in contact with Madchild. He's now doing his thing, and he's busy.
Okay.
So we'd like to shoot a music video with him. So in a month that should be released. But I'm gonna be doing interviews. You know.
Okay.
Now I have more interviews set up, so I'll be doing a lot more interviews. You'll be able to read about me and everything.
Okay, great. And of course, you know, this was your most fun interview, though, right?
Oh, this was great.
You just couldn't pick up the pieces of the puzzle you had made. Instead you threw it away. Oh yeah, once incredible promise, part of your living soul. Discarded, I no longer.
I got your name tatted on my arm willingly, but I need my mom in person and it's killing me. Quiet in the studio, you're feeling me. Music is the only thing that takes away my misery. Music is the only thing that ever brings me synergy. It's funny cause my motto me is history. Where were you when I was in a hospital? Our relationship will never be possible. When you have a kid, leaving ain't an option. I've been abusing every way because of my adoption.